After the attack from Yokozuna, the WWF is doing a great setup for your return after injury. One element of that is reaching out to your family for comment, and they start by talking to your wife, Deborah, who was pregnant at the time. And we're starting early this week with our first clip. Let's check it out.
In light of what's happened, I'd just like to say that Jim and I have been together for almost 10 years. And in those years, I've nursed him back through many injuries. 4 knee operations, torn Achilles tendon, crushed vertebrae, and many other injuries. But now, everything is different. We've always wanted to have a baby. And now that I'm pregnant, Mr. Fuji and Yokozuna have done this to Jim. This could not have happened at a worse time. All I want is for Jim to be able to play with his baby. I know he's a proud man. And I know he loves his country. And I know millions of people love to watch him wrestle. But I love him. And our baby loves him. And I don't want to see him hurt. Mr. Fuji and Yokozuna have done this to Jim because he is a proud American. But we're not at war with Japan. This is a sport, and I don't want to see him hurt. I don't want Jim to wrestle. I'm sorry, but I don't want Jim to wrestle.
Boy, that was great stuff.
Wow. Wow, that was strong, man. Holy smokes. Wow. You did a hell of a job on that.
Man, she did a great job. Jim, what do you remember about that whole thing coming together?
Like that interview in particular?
Yeah, like, they came to your house, I assume. Like, did Vince?
Yeah,
did
they
Vince
came
pitch
down
it
to
to you?
Florida. We were living in Titusville, Florida at the time, and we had been trying to get pregnant for a while, And Deborah's like, "We need to," and I'm like, "Don't worry, when the time's right, we'll have a kid." Time went by, no kid, no kid, no kid. So Bobby Heenan comes up. He goes, "Hacksaw, you want to get your wife pregnant?" I said, "Yeah, Bobby, we've been trying for a while." He goes, "I'll tell you the perfect way." He says, "You take her out, have a really nice dinner, candlelit dinner, have a little champagne, bring her home, call me. I live a half hour away. I'll be right over."
Heenan, you bastard.
Yeah, Bobby. But anyway, so she was pregnant, and they came to the house and they asked her to do it. I think they were shocked. I was shocked. I mean, that was a strong interview, and it was from the heart. I mean, I was hurt too. As we said before, everybody said, "I saw you missed a guy by that much." Yeah, but you see, when I hit him by that much, Yoko hit me by about this much.
Whew, man.
So yeah, it was it hurt, and I was out for a while, and she was speaking from the heart. It meant a lot, and it does now to hear her say that all these years later.
It's incredible, yeah, and what a great job
I'm
she did.
proud
I
of
know,
her. Holy smokes, great
yeah,
job, honey.
and I know that she also did some work in Mid-South, and later on she'd do some stuff with you in WCW. I mean, was she interested overall in doing more in the wrestling world?
No, not really. She's just always been supportive. Yeah, and I think I told you that the story about her beating sensational Sherry when Sherry was the WWF World's Wrestling Champion.
That's right. She had to fill in for a match or something?
She had to fill in during a snowstorm. Nobody made it to the show. And Sherry, Liz, and Deborah, they were the only 3 girls on the road back then. They all hung together. And Velvet McIntyre couldn't make it to the show. So Jack Lanza's like, "Well, your wife could wrestle." Deborah's like, "What?" I said, "Just wave and smile, honey. Sherry's the WWF Women's Champion." So she goes to the ring waving and smiling. They ring the bell. Sherry attacks her, beats the hell out of her. Referee tries to break it up. Sherry tosses the ref. Ding, 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 DQ.
A win over Sherry.
Belt doesn't change hands on a DQ. Deborah got her hand up. Big Sherry. Little known wrestling fact. And Vince threw her a good bone. She got a better payoff than I did.
How great would it be to find footage of that somewhere?
Oh my gosh, there's some stuff back in the day. Thank God they didn't have footage. One time I'm wrestling Stan Hansen. They play Stan's music. He doesn't come out. They play Stan's music 3 or 4 times. He don't come out. Probably the 5th time Stan comes running out. he's got like a 10-foot piece of toilet paper hanging out of the back of
What do you say? What do you say to him when he gets in the ring?
Oh, when you get in the ring, the place is popping, so now he's flipping around looking for it.
Oh my God!
But
Yeah,
I'll
that's
tell you a little something. Young wrestlers, a little lesson, guys. I was doing a run-in for Junkyard Dog, and I'm pretty new to wrestling. I'm thinking, well, everybody comes running out in their gear. I thought I'd do something a little different, so I got all soaped up, and I came running out, with soap on, just a pair of trunks and like flip flops or something, and got a little bit of a pop. And I got back to the dressing room, and Dog was like, "Come here." He says, "You took away from the angle. We're doing the angle. We want everything to concentrate on the angle. You coming down and that kind of get up kind of took away from the angle." I'm like, lesson learned.
man. It's I wouldn't have even thought about that, but it's true. Like it's a distraction from what they're trying to
It's a
accomplish out there, right?
distraction from the main and what everybody's concentrating on. Yeah.
Wow, how about
Oh,
that?
I learned a lot. Like I said, I started at 25 where I'm like, I can beat him.
Man, young wrestlers can really benefit from listening to this stuff. You dropped some really interesting wisdom from Bruiser Brody on the last episode too, where he was talking about how you follow a really strong match, and that's just put a guy
Bring him back
in a
down, set him
yeah,
down.
yeah, man.
Or
Young,
another quick tip: if you throw somebody out of the ring, don't climb out of the ring next to him. Climb out of the ring on the far side, and now all this time you're coming to ring. He's coming, look out, he's coming behind you, look out, he's coming. You got all that suspense instead of getting out next to the guy.
that's wow, man. This is a good podcast for young wrestlers. We get some entertainment, plus you learn a little
Good
something.
podcast. Well, they don't nowadays. If you, hey, whoo, hey, Circus Soleil.
Yeah, Jim, I can't wait to hear you talk about doing flips over the top rope and stuff. We'll get there. We'll get there for our
Oh,
listeners.
yeah, good. I don't know what we're going to talk about. It'll be one of these.
I wouldn't even want to get in the way of a guy doing that, let alone do it myself. You know what I mean? No, thank you.
Well, I mean, and of course, you imagine grabbing a headlock today. Boo, boo.
Oh man, it'd be a good way to get heat, maybe with the crowd.
Well, it's
Just
got
put
the
the guy in a
pendulum's
headlock.
got to swing the other way. I mean, neither that or they'll be having guillotine matches, right?
They got to do something to start topping this stuff.
But
Um,
still, that's the deal. A lot of folks say, I don't watch the show. I'm like, well, somebody's watching it. They'll have hundreds of thousands of people at WrestleMania. Still a great show.
man, more profitable than ever, and a lot of that is marketing, and a lot of
But
that is crowd
one
attendance.
little bitch real quick about the young guys that I hear a lot on the Comic Cons, and I bet Teddy and Jake do too, is the kids nowadays, when they give an autograph, they give like a design or
Oh yeah,
RR for Roman Reigns or something. These folks stand in line for however long, hours for the top stars, pay top money. You can always tell when people bring belts by. They collect autographs and belts or encyclopedias.
hmm,
Jake the Snake Roberts, Ted DiBiase. You can read the autographs, and then you're like, well, who's this? Who's that?
right.
And
Yeah, because a lot of
take
guys
your
just
time.
quick
The
scribble.
fans are spending their hard-earned money. Give them an autograph they can read.